We're here with St. Bonaventure women's swimming coach Seth Johnson. And Seth, as your team prepares to leave for Ohio in the Atlantic 10 Championships, it's really a case of where your season boils down to 1 week. That's an awful lot of pressure on any team and any individual swimmer. How do you guys cope with that kind of atmosphere going into the Atlantic 10s?
It's all about preparation. Our kids, if they know if they work hard, if they put in the work during the year, it's going to pay off. And that's part of the motivation for working hard throughout the season is knowing that when you get to this weekend, you can go in calm, cool, collected, not having to worry about what you're going to be left with there. And but it's a head game with a lot of swimmers because it comes down to 1 weekend. You can't have a bad weekend and then bounce back the next weekend in the next game. It comes down to 1 weekend. You got to be sharp for 1 weekend, and it's a lot of mental preparation and just as much as physical preparation. As we always say, it's 90% mental once you get to this point. If you can convince yourself and believe what you're going to be able to do, if you're mentally strong enough, then you're going to be able to swim well. If you're somebody who is so convinced on how you feel that day compared to the next day or whatever, it's not going to go as well for you. But if you're mentally strong, which most swimmers are once they get to this point, then they're going to swim well and they're going to show up when it counts.
Strategy-wise, what do you do with your team coming into this? As you said, a lot of it mental. But in terms of placing swimmers into different relays or different events, how many choices do you have to make that lead into the strategy to allow your team to perform as well as it can?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it depending on your squad size because we've got more swimmers than we are allowed to actually swim for points. So it's not only it's a lot of projection because we don't have game to game or meet to meet to see where people are at because they're swimming tired all year long. It's a lot of projection, thinking what the work is that people have done individually, where we think that they're going to be able to project into the championships at the end of the year. And so that's difficult to do because you've got kids who have put in the work all year long and they've done everything that you've asked them to, and they're swimming our championship meet, but they may not be swimming for points. So we've got to boil down to 17 swimmers and plus our divers for that, and we've got to declare that. Also for relays, it's the same thing. We've got to project where we think people are going to be. There's a few spots that are fairly well solidified with past performances at championship meets. But yeah, there's always some that are up in the air and trying to decide on who's going to be, who's going to be swimming our relays. And really, most relays can take care of themselves because you have prelim swims. But we do have a 4-day meet now, where the 800 freestyle relay is Wednesday night and the 200 medley relay is Wednesday night. So we don't have any prior swims to see where people are at in order to place people on those relays. Those have to be decided, beforehand. So those are probably that's probably the most difficult decision of those two relays. And once we're past those and you get to see people swimming in the meet, the other ones usually take care of themselves more or less. But yeah, it's difficult.
Seth, what's a realistic goal for your team headed over to the championships this week? Certainly, it's you haven't had a top finish in recent years. So how do you approach it?
Yeah, we were fourth a couple years ago, and it's so difficult right now because we've got so many. The conference is in flux. We lose Butler, we lose Xavier last year. We have George Mason coming in. This is their first year. They're very strong. How strong at a championship meet, we don't know. So it's going to be difficult. I think we can be I think we have the talent to be in the top 5 in our conference, and hopefully higher than that. But that's our goals going in, and all it takes is a couple swims here and there. To score some major points. We're definitely better than we were last year. I think both relay and individually. And also we had so many freshmen last year. We had 13 freshmen swimming our championship meet. Didn't have a lot of experience. Now that they have a year of experience, and we're not quite as young, I think that's going to benefit us really well. And I'm excited to see what we can do, and I think they're excited to get it started also.
Seth, good luck this week.
Thank you.